Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, how are you doing today? Hopefully you are in good condition and happy situation. In this good occasion, I would like to explain a little bit about structure and written expression strategies. Contents of these templates are: first is kinds of English proficiency test. Second one is definition of TOEFL. Third one is definition of structure and written expression. Fourth one is structure and written expression strategies. And it is divided into two parts. First is strategies for guessing answer, and the second one is tips for guessing answer. And the last one is using the guessing tips. Okay, let's begin with number one. Kinds of English proficiency test. English is a language that has been used globally for centuries. English plays a very important role in various aspects of life, both in communication, trade, cultural exchange, politics, and education. The ability of speaking English is also one of the requirements for anyone who will study in a country that uses English as the main language. There are several kinds of English proficiency. Okay, first is TOEFL. So what is TOEFL? TOEFL is test of English as a foreign language. And the second one is IELTS. IELTS is International English Language Testing System. Next, we know GMAT. GMAT is Graduate Management Admission Test. Next is SAT. SAT is Scholastic Aptitude or Assessment. And then we know TOEIC. Yep. TOEIC is Test of English for International Communication. Okay, now we focus on TOEFL. So TOEFL is one of the standardized tests that is widely known and has been carried out for many years. TOEFL is divided into three sections. First is listening comprehension, second one is structure and written expression, and third one is reading comprehension. Okay, there are several forms of TOEFL. First one is PBT, paper based test, and then we know CBT, computer based test, and then internet based test, IBT, and the last one is ITP, institutional testing program. What is the definition of structure and written expression actually? Okay, structure and written expression is one of the sections in TOEFL test which focuses on English written form. So it aims to measure the examinee's ability in recognizing appropriate language used in standard written English. There are two main points that are tested in this section. First is structure and the second one is written expression. And each point has some specific aspect to be answered by the test. Okay, let's focus now on structure. In this part of the test, the examinees are asked to choose the right answer from the four words or phrase option provided beneath the sentence. For example, geysers have often been compared to volcanoes. Blah blah blah, they both emit hot liquids from below the Earth's surface. And the options are A, due to, B, because, C, in spite of, and D, regardless of. So which one is the best answer? Okay, the answer is B. Why? Because actually this is consists of two sentences and we need a conjunction to combine these sentences into one sentence, and we need because. Then because this is the first one needs the reason, and the second one here, the second sentence is the reason for the statement of the first sentence, and the answer is because. To the sentence structure. Okay, let's study sentence structure. The sentence structure questions assess the examinee's ability to complete a sentence. We found here word order. So what is word order? Word order questions consist of more detailed oriented sentences. Sentence structure question. Okay. Next is word form. What is word form? Word form questions assess the examinee's ability to identify the correct use of word from a given situation. Next is word choice. The word choice questions examine the examinee's ability in understanding idiomatic expressions such as how to use prepositions with certain words. Next, last not but least, missing or extra words. The missing or extra words questions frequently examine the examinee's ability to recognize that a word is missing or that an extra word appears in a sentence. Okay, now let's begin with written expression. In this section, the examiner will see that each sentence has four underlined words or phrases. He or she needs to figure out one underlined choice that is not correct. Okay, that is not correct. For example, okay, groupies are sometimes called rainbow fish because of the male's bright colors. Look at this question. A. Call. B. Fish. C. Because. And D. Bright. We must choose one of the wrong one. Okay, look at the answers here. Fish is right. Because is correct. Bright is also correct. But A is incorrect. It's supposed to be are cold. Not call, but cold. Because this sentence is in the passive voice. Okay, the correct choice is A. And now let's begin with structure and expression strategies. Structure and written expression contains 40 sentences with multiple choice responses, 15 in part A in structure and 25 in part B in written expression. And this section of the test must be completed in 25 minutes. It is approximately 35 to 37 seconds to answer each question. Alright, here are the strategies for guessing the answer. In part A, the examinee needs to find the word or phrase that correctly completes the sentence. In part B, the examinee needs to identify which one of the underlined words or phrases is incorrect in the sentence. So, one of the most important differences between Part A and Part B is that in Part A, the examinee must choose what is correct, and in Part B, the examinee must choose what is wrong. So, that is the good question for us, yeah? That is the uniquely thing in TOEFL. Okay, now let's take a look to the tips for guessing the answer. First, we must pay attention to the sentence, the subject, noun phrase and noun clause, prepositions and the prepositional phrase, the verb and the verb phrase, phrase conjunctions and makers, parallel structure, clauses, adjectives and adjective phrases, and also adverbs. Okay, now how to use the guessing tips. Okay, example, this is example for part A. So the example 1 is the simple sentence. Let's begin by reading the sentence. The planning of television dramas, blah blah blah, in the programming departments of broadcasting stations. Okay, we analyze this sentence. The first word is the article D, followed by planning, because articles usually come before nouns or noun phrases. Planning is a noun. So the next word after planning is of here, of, because the prepositional phrase of television dramas is not part of the subject, the planning is the subject. Okay, and now after the blank, there are prepositions in the article the here. Clearly, programming departments is a noun phrase, followed by the prepositional phrase of broadcasting stations. The examinee has found only nouns and no verb. It is needed verb and the subject is singular, so the verb may end in s in the present tense. So look at the multiple choice selection here. A is which begin, B begins, C are beginning, D which begins. Alright, A is not good choice because the verb has no s here. Just begin. Okay, B is possible answer because the verb begin has s here, begins. But C is not likely choice, yeah, or beginning. We should remember this is the present tense, not present continuous. Alright, if you choose D, the word begins is the verb for the pronoun which, and the subject, the planning, has no verb. Alright, so we should choose begins, B. Alright, next example, simple sentence. Helicopters are small than most airplanes and cannot fly as far. Okay, this is example for part B, yeah? Here is no error in A because helicopters is plural countable noun and is possible subject. In B, here, then signals the need for comparative ER. Small, not small, but smaller than. Smaller than. In C, the phrase airplanes has no error because airplanes are compared to helicopters and both of them are plurals. Yeah. In D, here, as far is acceptable because it completes the comparison between helicopters and airplanes. So the answer is B. Alright, look at to the example 2. This is complex sentence with one subordinate clause. There is no definite record of who created or first used traffic control devices. Okay, look at this. A, there is not wrong. And B is also appropriate. But in C, look at this. C here. The word used to be either a noun or a verb. If it is a noun, it needs an article, but there is not an article, yeah? If it is a verb, use is in the present tense, but the verb created in the past. Look at created in the past. So we should choose first use. Okay. Use. It should be used with the. Okay. And the answer is C. As the conclusion of this explanation, you know that TOEFL is a form of standardized test for speakers in which English does not belong to their native language. This test is used to test non-native ability to understand spoken English, to determine selected structural and grammatical sentences in standard written English, and to understand short English passages. So one of TOEFL test section is structure and written expression. This section aims to see the examinee's ability to spot English grammar sentences correctly. It involves a capability to settle on the right answer that completes the sentence and a capability to acknowledge underlined word or phrase that is not appropriate in the sentence. For the best result, it is important to know the strategies and tips during the test so that the examinee can get a good scores upper than the passing grade. It needs effort for doing the test well. And this presentation tries to present the good ways, both strategies and tips in answering the test. So hopefully it is helpful for the examinees who will do the TOEFL test. I think it's quite enough for me to explain about the structure and written expression strategies. I'm sorry if I made many mistakes in this video. Hopefully this is helpful for us, and thank you so much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you. Bye-bye.